MIGOS are currently one of the biggest groups in the hip-hop scene, and the dynamic the group has is just flawless. Every member in the group excels at something and always brings something different to the table when they're all on a song together. But there's one member from the group that I feel like always gets left out in the conversation, and that is of course Takeoff. And in this video I want to talk about why Takeoff deserves more credit. Now, although Takeoff is not my personal favorite in the group, I just can't deny his greatness and what he does for the trio. Ever since the group started getting that real mainstream success they've been working so hard for in late 2016 after their hit song Bad and Bougie got a lot of attention, people have been dismissing Takeoff and giving the other two members in the group more attention. Now, of course, this is the result of Takeoff being left off Bad and Bougie.
Look like I'm left off Bad and Bougie.
People are looking at Takeoff like he isn't really a part of the group because he wasn't on this one song, which was also the Migos' biggest and most successful one. And of course, a lot of people may argue and say that Quavo or even Offset are the stars in the group, but in my opinion, the real hidden star in the group is Takeoff. But throughout these past few years of being extremely loyal to one another, working hard and planting their seeds for success, Takeoff has always been consistent with his verses. I mean, look at a song like Call Casting where Takeoff absolutely killed it.
I need 10, that's a dime, one a nickel, that's a 5, one to fly, one to slide, one to glide, ain't got time, 30 on my 9, for a nigga out of line.
Or even a song like T-Shirt where Takeoff's bars were extremely fire but people weren't paying attention.
I'ma feed my family, nigga, ain't no way around it, family, ain't gon' never let up, nigga, got that show my talent, show young nigga with the Anna, walking with the.
Or look at Takeoff's own song, Intruder, that is probably my all-time favorite verse by him.
You blood, blue that y'all nigga don't know nothing about the game. I can't help it, y'all nigga new to it. Blue the intruder try running my house. Hope he got insurance. Know that.
And of course, he absolutely killed this one too. But there was a time when Offset was locked up in jail. And who was the person who carried the entire group and kept their buzz alive? And that would be Takeoff. He was the person who carried the entire group on his back. Now, of course, I don't want to discredit Quavo's name, but I think Takeoff deserves the credit for that. He was a big part as to why the group kept on making these subtle waves in the game. But of course, the mainstream and the people who just got introduced to the group won't really care about the history. At the end of the day, the past is the past and people will always see the success that's present and just disregard the hard work. So even if Takeoff did help the Migos to stay on top of their game, which he did, that's not what people are going to see. Now let me use this analogy right here to explain what I mean. So if you're not looking at the screen and watching this video, look at it really quick just so you know what I'm talking about. But this iceberg right here that you see on the screen is a perfect example of what I mean. So at the top of the iceberg we have Quavo and Offset shining and getting all the praise, but at the bottom we have Takeoff, who basically was a huge factor of the Migos' success. But of course that's not what most people are gonna see because the history is not in front of them. But what is in front of them is their current success. So of course not everyone is really going to care about the fact that Takeoff kept the group alive a couple years ago when Offset was in jail. But Takeoff is like the quiet one. He's really not being talked about as much in the media like Offset and Quavo, who have, for example, dated or are dating other high-profile celebrities in the industry. And we all know how much attention the media pays to celebrities and their relationships. So he's not getting talked about in the media, and he was left out of the group's biggest song, Bad and Bougie. And it feels like people are automatically dismissing Takeoff because of this. I think that Takeoff is the middleman of the group who's holding everything together. I think that he's the low-key character in the group who is staying quiet and letting the success of the group speak for itself without trying to get the validation of the public, because he knows what he does for the group and he knows his worth. And I think that people should start paying more attention to Takeoff because I do believe that he deserves much more credit than he actually gets. But in time, I think that everyone is going to catch up to Takeoff once he gets that one moment that maybe goes viral or just really shows the impact he truly has in the group. And that's when everything is gonna change for him. And that's why I think that Takeoff from the Migos does deserve more credit. So what do you personally think about Takeoff? Do you think that he's underrated and deserves more credit? Or do you think that he's perfectly rated and does not deserve more credit? Let me know in the comment section below and I'll be reading every single comment.